So this week I went to the Patriots march in London. I actually met a couple of people who watch this channel, which for such a small channel is absolutely amazing. And it was nice to meet a couple of guys who watch. So anyway, I wasn't going to do anything because the Patriots march has been absolutely covered beyond belief, and the two-tiered policing that we all know is going on it's a fact, isn't it? It's not even a conspiracy theory anymore. It's an actual fact. We all saw that at the march when they, for no apparent reason, and nothing was achieved by it, they decided to kettle veterans. Now, I know for a fact that there were ex-servicemen, there were older people involved in being pushed and then basically attacked with horses. It wasn't just sort of the target audience of the police, which is allegedly football hooligans and these far right people. Do you know, in my life I've only ever met about two far right people, and one of them was when I had a fight because he was making monkey noises at a black friend of mine. So they are out there, but they're few and far between. A lot of the far right are just working class people, not just working class people, middle class people who don't like the way the country's going, don't like the way it's being governed, don't think either the government or Labour or whoever are working for the people. They're just working for themselves, trying to push this World Economic Forum, United Nations, World Health Organization agenda, and they're just not happy. Everyday people like me and most of you. But I'll tell you why I ended up doing this vlog. It's because I thought it's not just a two-tier policing, it's two-tier media. If you're white or black, now I'm going to cover this quickly. I think in 2024 skin colour shouldn't be a thing, and I went with a couple of black friends to the Patriots march. Now I say that, black friends, I don't like saying that. I shouldn't have to say that. As Morgan Freeman says, the only way that you get round skin colour is to stop talking about it. Now, I went with a couple of friends, but the reason I point out their colour is because they were both laughing watching the Metropolitan Police. I said, "What are you laughing at?" They said, "You're right. When people said that the Metropolitan Police are institutionally racist, they are, against white English people." And it was poignant, really, and out of that laugh, they were bang on the nail, really. And they're like me, you know, brought the kids up not to see skin colour. You know, people are either good or bad or whatever. And they're disgusted when you get these race baiters, I don't know her name, BLM activist or whatever, who's always being put around on GB News, the main ITV, very patronising, talks down, long nails, looks smart, thinks she knows it all. She's very divisive. She talks for an absolute minority of black people out there. Most black people, like most white people, just want equality of opportunity. You can't legislate for equality of outcome. Hopefully the only way you get round things like racism being a factor is by calling it out, but she finds problems where there are no problems. It's crazy, and she's a radical, and that's what the media does. It gets these radicals, people on far end of arguments, and it purports to have them represent their entire community, and that's not the case, trust me. People just want to get on with their lives. So that's a little rant over. That's the first thing about the media. The second thing about the media, and I'm talking about GB News, I'm talking about Talk TV, as well as the known propaganda arms of the government, BBC, ITV, Channel 4, Sky News. They reported that little scuffle with a Kettling. They reported that it was far right extremists violently attacking the police. When we've seen all the footage and we know that it was anything but. Like when I got back, I said there were loads of far right scumbags down on that march, but then someone's got to police it. And that's what I witnessed. I wasn't in the Clarence pub when it got stormed because there were people singing the national anthem, and I don't know what the other song was. Apparently it was a bit iffy, but singing a song and they're being raided by riot police. What has happened to this country? Now, people were surprised by GB News and Talk TV having headlines like that, and I don't know why. I got a lot of stick, a lot of kickback from people, and they're entitled to their view, and I respect their views, for criticising Reform UK. When I looked into the people who funded them, their donors, I found a lot of people that were behind the Conservative Party. I found a lot of people who were linked to WEF. I found a lot of tenuous links to the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. I found a lot of really close links to George Soros. But people were annoyed. They said, oh, that's it. Split the vote. Why would I be bothered about splitting the vote from the same people? From parties that are funded by the same establishment-backed people. Why would I be bothered about that? And I respect your view. If you see Reform as an alternative and you've looked at all the evidence, then great, vote Reform. If you think the Tory party have done great things, great, vote Tory. If you think Starmer's Labour are going to be a big improvement, because they've never lied before, have they? They've always done great things for you before, which is why the country is where it is now, because of the Tories, because of Labour. And now we've got an alternative backed by the same people that back those mainstream parties. And we've got alternative media funded by the same people that back those mainstream parties. If you see that and you think, oh, they're different, they're alternative, then good luck with that. If you think some of the Tories who have let the country down so badly, defecting to alternative parties is a good thing, rock on. I respect your view, but I don't share it, as you know. So when some of these people who back the Tories, back Labour and back Reform, also back GB News and also back Talk TV, I personally don't expect anything different than I expect from the propaganda arms of the mainstream media. Now, I've got to give credit where credit's due. Patrick Christie's, and was it Michelle? Is it Michelle Dewberry? I like her. She's right up front. They spoke out. They said no, we're not having it. People down on that march, were they far right? There's probably been a couple. People down that march. Were there any football hooligans yet? Yeah, there'll be football hooligans on any march, but they get branded because they're carrying a George Cross. I was carrying a George Cross. I haven't got any football hooligan convictions. Do I go to football? Yes, I do. Love me football. Am I a patriot? Yes, I am. It's a womb lottery. I couldn't pick where I was born, but as I was born here, I might as well celebrate the good things. Looking through history, oh, England's done this, England's done that. Britain's done this, Britain's done that. Yeah, they've done some horrific things. Take any country in the world and they've done horrific things. But what they tend to do is celebrate the good things and learn from the bad things. And that's why I went on that Patriots March. I would never have gone on a Patriots March before. But I thought, do you know what? I've had enough of seeing hate marches through the streets of London every week. And yes, there are good people on those marches who genuinely want a ceasefire in Gaza, genuinely. But I don't think they realise the way the jihadis who are also on those marches are gaining traction from it. I don't think the average Joe who just wants a ceasefire and wants babies stop being killed and civilians stop being killed like we all want, I don't think they realise. Now, I'm not going to get involved in that war because it's been going on for years. Hamas has been, and before that, who was the other? The PLO. They've been bombing Israel. Israel's been bombing them. Israel, to me, right at this minute, are going over the top. Although I can see why they want to get rid of Hamas. For me personally, there's too many civilians being killed. That's always the way in war, isn't it? If it was the politicians that had to fight and send their own sons and daughters, there wouldn't be any wars. The fact is, though, Hamas aren't helping because they're saying, oh, if there's a ceasefire, we'll still bomb Israel. So I don't know. I don't know the answers. If I did know the answers, I wouldn't be doing a little YouTube channel. I'd be Prime Minister of the world. I wouldn't be because I don't believe in globalism. But yeah, I don't know that. But there's a lot of people getting a lot of purchase out of these marches. And the far left who are suddenly being involved in these marches, pro-Palestinian, they're getting a lot of purchase out of it as well. And these cultural Marxists, I don't know what they think about Marxism. If capitalism is so bad, and to me, I've always thought if someone works harder than someone else, they deserve more rewards. Call me old-fashioned, call me a dinosaur, but that's what I think. So I'm not anti-capitalism per se. I'm anti-greedy, control-fueled psychopaths, which are a lot of the people who run these corporations, a lot of these people who are involved in our governments, a lot of people in any position of power. So I'm anti those, but I still say if you work harder than someone else, you deserve better rewards. I don't go down the communist or Marxist routes. I think history, if we're learning from history, surely we've seen that before. People dobbing their parents in for what they say, people having to watch what they say, books being burned because people don't agree with it, films being burned because they tell a different story to the government's narrative. The hate law in Scotland, first step towards absolute tyranny, isn't it? If you can't say what you think, and I'm not on about advocating violence against people, individuals or groups, I'm on about the overall principle, free speech, which is also why I went on that Patriots March. People sneering and saying, oh, what are British values? Well, freedom of speech, which is why so many of our men and women bravely died in the Second World War. Men and women of all colours, all religions, all creeds died so that we had freedom of speech in this country. Not so, white and black people have got to watch what they say. Not so, people of any religion can't walk across a road. Not so, swastikas can be shown after we fought so hard to keep this country swastika free.
I was told when I asked that a swastika was not necessarily anti-Semitic or destruction of public worship. That doesn't seem right to me.
Okay, so I think the symbol in of itself It is.
Oh my God.
It is.
Film. Please
Of course
film.
it is.
Yes.
Please, for the love of God, film.
It is anti-Semitic.
So, is this
It's not allowed.
I'm sorry, I didn't say it wasn't,
Can I
did
just
I?
ask the question? I'm just
I
asking
didn't,
a
I didn't
question,
say, I didn't
right?
say it wasn't, did I?
Can I, if someone is carrying a sign that's a swastika, you said you wouldn't arrest them on the spot, it has to be investigated online?
Yes, it is. In
What?
A swastika in and of itself is not
There's
anti-Semitic.
nothing more anti-Semitic than...
You're aware of the Public Order Act and the legislation that we work under, madam?
A swastika
Are you aware
is a
of
swastika.
Madam, I can have the conversation with you. I can have the conversation with you.
I'm happy to, but I'm just confused as to what's confusing about a swastika.
There are various facets to the Public Order Act, okay?
Yes.
So in this sphere, we're working under things called Section 5 of the Public Order Act, Section 4A of the Public Order Act. They're some of the primary legislation we're using, all right? If you go away and have a look at that, and it's all about if it's something's likely to cause harassment, alarm or distress, if it is written words, or there's spoken words that are abusive.
So, sorry, under what context is a swastika not disrupting
It's not
public
a
order? Could you just explain under what symbol that's not disrupting public order?
I haven't said at any point, have I, that it is or it isn't. Everything needs to be taken within context, doesn't it?
Not so. People have got to watch what they say. If it's not hateful, if it doesn't provoke violence, fill your boots. They died not so at the Batley Grammar School. Teachers are still in hiding 3 years later because they gave a legitimate religious education lesson that a section of our society find unacceptable. Tough. If you don't like freedom of speech, relocate to a country where there are blasphemy laws. Third take on that, blasphemy laws, and teachers are beheaded or their hands chopped off, or you lose a leg if you scratch the Quran or whatever. Go to one of those countries because you don't fit in with a civilised, democratic society with free speech. Same as if you're a radical Christian, a radical Jew, a radical Sikh or a radical Hindu. If you can't abide by the laws, the courts of the country that you've decided to settle in, or indeed you're born in, go somewhere where you'll be happier. Don't try and change the country that people have fought so hard and have died to achieve. So I think respect for others, which we haven't been great back in the past, but hopefully we can nurture by sheer education of our kids. A team spirit when our back's against the wall. Innovation. I mean, Britain has provided so many great inventions to the world, stuff that we would be in a much poorer place if they weren't invented. So yeah, it's a womb lottery, but I was born actually in England, but Britain, I'm proud to be English, I'm proud to be British. Let's celebrate the good and not the bad. And let's see these media outlets and these political parties for what they actually are. I found the Alliance for Democracy and Freedom, a party with no whip, where the members have total say on the policies. And yes, they're a small party, but you know what? If we all vote for parties who would actually represent us, it might just give Labour a bloody nose at the next election, but it'll build, and hopefully before this country goes totally to the dogs, before the corporates and the globalists get total control, we'll be in a position with people with principle to fight back. The police, a disgrace, I think, and the ADF think that we should have a fast-track system for service personnel to put a bit of pride, put a bit of common sense back into our police. I think that, is it Rowley in London? He ought to get the sack. He's just Sadiq Khan's puppet. Everyone can see it. He needs to go. Any one of these Marxist persuaded senior police need to go. Anyone that doesn't want to police everyone equally, whether you're black, white, pink or blue, whether you're Muslim, Christian, Jewish, Hindu, Sikh, whatever you are, whether you're transsexual, whether you're black, white, I think I've already said that, whether you're transsexual, whether you're bisexual, whether you're homosexual, whether you're heterosexual, shouldn't matter. If you don't police equally, you don't want to police equally, and you don't police equally, you need to go now. And it's the same with the media. If you're going to report differently on those people, you need to be boycotted and unfunded now. And we need a real alternative media. So well done to Patrick Christie's, and well done to, I think it's Michelle Dewberry, and also people like Neil Oliver, for standing up for free speech and standing up for people who are just sick and tired of watching this country go to the dogs. High bills, high food prices are never going to go back down. This crazy, unsubstantiated drive for net zero, giving our money away to proxy wars that just go straight to a company called BlackRock for rebuilding and their arms, just have had enough of being white or black, Christian, Jewish, whatever your religion, other than the religion, sneered at. Things need to change. They need to change radically. Okay, sorry I've waffled a bit, but I had to get that off my chest. I'll be going to the Glasgow anti-hate speech law rally tomorrow. Hope to see some of you there, and I shall be going to the Patriots march on the 1st of June. And I'm going to leave you with a couple of examples of the different ways that the police act against certain sectors of people in London, as far as I can see it. Maybe you'll disagree and let me know in the comments. First of all, there's some TikTok footage of people culturally enriching us on the evening of Eid in London. And there's another couple of bits of footage that don't really need explaining, I don't think.
Get back! Farida! Hey! Zicirto, è matara pura?
थोड़ा जे म्यूजिक नू दे दे ओ पंजाबी टच नच पंजाबन नच पंजाबन नच पंजाबन नच अब लड़ना है हर शर्त पे अब ये करना है चाहे जान की बाजी लग जाए ये
You might not agree with me on everything, you might not agree with me on anything, but thanks for watching. I'll answer any questions that I get back in a respectful way if the question's asked in a respectful way. I think those British values should hold firm even on YouTube. Okay, thanks for watching. Let me know your thoughts, that's why I do these, and speak to you soon. Okay, Bye for now.